3 and 9, 39. 6 and 3, 63.
Don't let your eyes and ears deceive you. This is a bingo club, and not just any bingo club. This one happens to be in a very famous building in Manchester. And yes, these are film posters, reminding us that this top-ranked club was once a cinema. And for 2 hours, the Longford will be transformed back into the days of the silver screen. Stretford Local History Society and the Northwest Cinema Preservation Society approached John Lawton, the manager of the Stretford Club, to see if there was an opportunity to celebrate the theatre's 50th birthday. With only a matter of weeks to go before the official date, it was decided to hold an open day at the club the week before Christmas. This would allow preparation time, as the manager believed that such an event should be celebrated in style. It was then that we set ourselves the impossible task of turning the Longford. The theatre had had many names in its time, but this one seemed to be the one that most people remembered it by, back into a cinema for 2 hours in between the bingo sessions. The Secretary of the Cinema Preservation Society set out to find out if any of the Jackson and Newport family who had built the Longford were still alive. Unfortunately, the last member of the family had died in Bournemouth during 1985. We did find out, however, that the architect of the Longford, one Henry Elder, and now nearly 80, was living in Canada. With a lot of detective work and telephoning, we got in touch with him, and he was delighted that his creation was still standing and providing a source of entertainment for Stretfordians. We arranged to record a brief message to be replayed to the audience during the film show. Mr. Elder explained how, as a young man of 27, he was asked to design one of the most interesting and modern buildings in Manchester. As it was 20 years since the Longford had shown its last film, this meant the installation of a projector, screen and sound facilities. With only one machine, there had to be several short breaks in between reel changes. John Lawton was able to entertain the audience with some details of the following films to be screened. It was our idea from the start to get the general public into the theatre, not just those who came as bingo players, so with the help of local newspapers and radio advertising, we were rewarded with a sizable crowd. We had representatives from the Northwest Film Archive and people from as far afield as Blackburn, Rochdale, Oldham and Liverpool. We also had a good relationship with the Odeon Cinema in Manchester. They supplied us with the rank film The Cinema Steps Out, and the chief projectionist, Carl Chesworth, supplied some period film from the Saturday morning children film shows at the Odeon.
Create trends in filmmaking. A mammoth multi-million-pound industry is built on a queue of people waiting to pay their money at the box office. For this queue, only the best is good enough. A projection room in a modern cinema can contain equipment costing thousands of pounds. The film the projectionist handled so carefully may have cost $1 million to make. Efficient. Today's films are made for a variety of shapes of screens. Some screens are still almost square, others are wider. And wider. And wider still. Most modern cinemas can easily accommodate a wide screen. Is is not a matter of size, but of ratio. In the 1920s, 3 or 4...
Mr. Elder explained how, as a young man at 27, he was asked to design one of the most interesting and modern buildings in Manchester. He took his inspiration from the movies and exploited the themes of sex and money, which he felt were intrinsic of the film industry at the time. The Chester Road entrance to the Longford is represented by a cash register, which conveyed the money element of his idea. When one goes round to the Edge Lane entrance, that one sees the relevance of the phallic symbol in his design. Little of Stretford's architectural history remains. Most of the town centre had been redeveloped in the 60s, so the Longford remains the home of entertainment in Stretford. It was a great achievement to see those flickering images on the screen and hear the vibrant sounds of organ music fill the Longford's auditorium. The audience seemed to enjoy the show, and many who had not stepped into the building for over 20 years were amazed to find out just how nice it was inside and how friendly the staff were. Then it was back to converting the Longford into its other role of entertainment as a bingo club. The event was hailed by all as a great achievement. It had brought the community, local societies and staff of the club together, and the Longford's 50th birthday had been celebrated in style.
Yes, I remember being in here waiting for the end of the
all over the yo-yo man. Used to jack the piano on this way there. She used to jack the piano on the stage and to get some. It was clever, I should say it hard enough. I think they would have got more people out of the